Welcome back to Superior Sunrise. Joining me now from the American Livestock Market and Dealers Association, Tim Niedecken. Tim, thank you so much for being here. I want to jump right into it because it's what everybody's talking about and everybody wanting to know. What do we need to know about the influenza outbreak?
Well, I think anytime you have the state veterinarian call you on a Saturday morning and say, hey, we need to talk, it's certainly something that you worry about. So in our work representing livestock markets, dealers, order buyers nationally, this has certainly been a key issue. I think what's really important for people to understand is the fact set. The facts are really hard on an issue as complicated as this, but the facts are very simple. Number one, you have an issue where you have a detection of a disease in samples. Detection does not equal causation. And I think any epidemiologist on any of the dozens and dozens of calls we've been on would tell you, yes, there's a lot that they still need to understand, they need to learn. Fact number two, the supply chain relative to beef and dairy is really unaffected. This is not a consumer issue. There are processes, procedures in place to make sure that that product never touches the consumer. I think number three, this is not a mortality event. We're not seeing death loss or anything like that relative to this. And the dairies that I've spoken with will tell you that yes, there's a production issue, but those animals are coming back into circulation. Those animals still have economic value. And so, again, it's a very important fact set that doesn't necessarily fit today's kind of media environment where I need to get all that in 30 seconds, and it's a complicated picture. We're very fortunate that we have the best veterinarians and epidemiologists in the world looking at this and doing the right work to defend our markets at the end of the day and protect the supply chain.
So what is some of the work that you are doing on behalf of your members in the middle of, a situation like this?
Sure. The biggest thing is just the fact set. Our job ultimately is to represent and defend their markets. Now, Monday is a great example. It's really hard when you have an incident like Monday and, the futures board in the last hour of trading erases $770 million in basically paper losses. That's a hard thing to deal with, but, our job is ultimately to communicate with our members, make sure they have the facts that I just laid out to you, and that they're able to share that with their respective buyers and sellers nationally.
I know that when you're in the middle of a situation like this, it's kind of hard to think about other things, but there are other key issues that you guys monitor for your members. What are some of those things to be aware of?
This incident is a great example of really two issues that I would bring up. One is biosecurity. Dairies, of course, are very intensively managed, but there's a lot of parallels to a livestock market that we represent. Livestock markets are very highly regulated. Average market here in Texas, as an example, has over a dozen entities that either have some kind of regulatory or legislative oversight of what they're doing. And when you think about biosecurity, you think about traceability. Another classic example here where that traceability really does matter. And there's some issues like that we're very involved with. And again, those are just two very simple examples that are part of a big portfolio of issues that we monitor on behalf of our members that apply here.
Yeah. So tell me, if we're on here, why should producers think about joining this association?
Well, sure. At the end of the day, our job is to represent the markets, dealers, order buyers that transact the volume. And so, anybody's welcome to go to AmericanLivestock.org, see the issues that we deal with. There are dozens and dozens of issues you and I could sit here and talk about that would be of interest to any marketer out there. But that's really our core, are the folks that are actively involved in running those marketing businesses like Superior Livestock. Rusty Cordova was one of our founders, obviously beloved Superior rep. He told me in his office privately for some great conversations, hey, your job is to defend and fight for these markets, and that's what we do every day.
Yeah. Well, real quick before we go, if somebody's wanting more information, because I know we could be on here talking about a lot of stuff, where do they need to go get some more information?
Sure, go AmericanLivestock.org is the best place to go, and be happy to answer any questions they may have. Just let us know through the form on the website.
Very well. Well, thank you so much for joining me here. Don't go anywhere. We've got more Superior Sunrise up next.